Hey Warwolves, Livewire here. This is a video with our battle with Otter that we had last week or so. And we performed the surround and overwhelm technique on them. And wasn't 100% efficient. It was a little sloppy here and there. But we performed it well enough to achieve victory. And I just want to go over and point out the things we did wrong, things we did right. Now the tactic called on this battle was a turtle tactic. We was to get back in that far alleyway there on the A line, tuck back and not be seen, and we was going to wait for them to come in, get on our cap, and ambush them. Now here's the first mistake I want to point out. The strategy calls for us to be back in that A line and be unseen. Uh, the ideal is for them not knowing where we're at until they get all the way up into the cap circle and then be surprised by our presence. Now, as you can see here, there was a TD to the far right side of the street. This enabled the enemy tanks to spot him and get shots on him. When we perform this maneuver, this tactic in the future on this map, we need to be all the way over to the left side of the street, tucked back into where we cannot be spotted until they are all the way into our cap circle. Let's just watch here and see what happens. Now, as you can see, we took out their main force quite easily. We lost 3 tanks, but we took out 4. A pretty good exchange for going up against such a high caliber team as Otter. Now let's look at our formation on this as we move down the street. As you can see, we're side by side. We stay as a group. We're not in a lemon line, also known as the loser's line. This enables us to come around the corner all together with our guns pointed at the enemy forces, able to all get shots. Now I want to point out here our lack of executing our corner maneuvering. We should have went outside guys first, inside guys last. Uh, Not quite executing that properly. I think gave them a little extra shots on us and enabled us from getting better shots on them. Also, you can see here that the lead guy is a little out in front too much, making him a single target and taking more shots than he normally would take if he was stayed with the group. Now let's take a look at our surround technique here. As you can see, the lead tank pushes through the enemy forces and gets up behind them, as well as the second and the third tank comes around as well, surrounding the enemy, creating confusion, and limiting them to focus fire on any one target. Now, as the lead tank is destroyed, the remaining tanks continue to move, continue to circle, continue to surround the enemy force. As you can see here, each enemy tank's turret is pointed in a totally different direction. None of them are unable to focus fire on any one tank with the confusion of the surround. One tank here has his turn at the main force. Our fundamentals on the surround and overwhelm technique was not perfect on this match, but it enabled us to cause enough confusion to where we got the advantage on their main force, was able to take them out, which led us to achieve victory on this battle. Now, another vital aspect of the surround and overwhelm technique that must be remembered when doing it is, in this situation here, you see, as our forces surround and overwhelm the main group, We have two tanks. I believe there was three tanks back here that was giving support fire to the enemy team. As you can see, as our forces performed the surround and overwhelm tactic, we paid no attention to the fire coming from the support tanks of the enemy. They kept focused on the tanks in front of them, taking them out one by one until they were all destroyed, paying no attention to the fire they was taking from the outside. And though they destroyed a few of our tanks, we were still able to dish out more damage than they gave us. Now here is where we need to work on our situational awareness. We came out and we performed the surround and overwhelm maneuvers and was able to take out their main force quite efficiently. Now with the three remaining tanks that was shooting at us from the side, this is where we need to duck into cover, fall back, and get into a safe place. You do not want to stay stationary in a light tank and exchange shots back and forth. Our failure to do so in this certain situation here gave them the opportunity to destroy two of our tanks, giving them the upper hand. Fortunately, in this situation, we was able to cause enough damage to force them to fall back and regroup themselves. Alright, now a key point on this particular battle for victory is I want to recognize our fellow warwolf, Envious. He had the sharpness to fall back to this back road here, protecting the back flank. After the two otter tanks pulled back and regrouped, this seemed like the most obvious route that they was going to come in on us. And Envious had a great state of mind to pull back here to get ready to head them off at the path. Now let's go back to talking about moving in a formation. I've said all in training and been training you guys that we must not move in the lemon line or the loser's line, as we put it. And here's a perfect example as of why. As we see Envious move up to protect the back flank, he runs into the two otter tanks. Now you can see they are not in formation. They are one right behind each other, the loser's line. Now let's look at this. The back far tank does not have a clear shot at Envious. He has got to maneuver around the front tank. The front tank is blocking him from a clear shot. As you see here with the front tank blocking the back tank shot, he did not get a clear shot and he missed. Between the rubble to the right and the tank in front of him, he was not able to get a clear shot. Now once again, we got to commence Envious for picking the weakest tank first, taking him out, leaving it a one-on-one situation where he prevailed over the otter tank, giving our team the upper advantage. Now at this point, it was just a matter of getting on their cap and capping out or forcing the otter tank to come in so they could destroy him. Okay, the final thing I want to point out is as I made the call on this battle, I never gave the order to roll on any tank or the surround and overwhelm, which is the same thing. These guys knew what to do by training. Our Tank Academy training is based on these techniques. The moving as a formation, surround and overwhelming, focus firing. And when we do it on a repetitive basis, it becomes second-hand nature for everybody. This team pulls out, does the surround and overwhelm maneuver without even having to be told. It's a little rough. We need to be more efficient at it, but in this situation against Otter, it worked. Now, as we continue to train, we will get more efficient at it. And it is my view that we'll get so efficient at it that we will be a tough team to beat. Now, those who don't attend training, you're going to be out of sync. And everybody knows one tank out of sync could be the difference between victory and a defeat. So I encourage everybody to join us in training. Tank Academy training is every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I hope to see everybody there. And thanks for watching.